Welcome, welcome to FIA, NNPA, and Black Press USA. I'm your host for tonight's show, Taylor Thomas, and my phenomenal special guest is none other than singer and songwriter. That's right, Raheem Devaughn. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am doing really, really good. I love seeing that smile on your face.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on your show.
Now, listen, we were supposed to have you last month. You have been very, very busy, which is a really great thing, especially with the pandemic. What's going on with you right now?
All is well. I'm actually preparing to shoot a video in the next 72 hours with it's a song that I'm featured on. It's a remake of Secret Garden. Uh,
Okay.
Artist named Omar Wilson, and the song also features myself, Sean Stockton from Boys to Men, as well as Cisco from Drew Hill. So I'm preparing for that, and it's been a busy last couple of days as well. I had a private taping in Nashville for the Black Music Honors.
Yes.
Yeah, which was very COVID friendly, and the world's changed so much now. So
Yes.
free to do these things, you have to get tested on the spot and things of that nature. And then I did a drive-in concert experience for Funk Fest this past weekend in Birmingham. You know, um, so there's a couple of places that I've been able to perform still, where people are allowed to drive up in their vehicles, or it's an outside performance where people still wear their mask and things of that nature, and they practice the social distancing. So the social distancing concerts have been very interesting as well.
So, Raheem, since we're talking about COVID, it has this been the norm for you since it was announced back in March, where you have still been on the go, or were you kind of stopped at one point like everybody else in the nation?
But no, I've been stopped. Yeah, I just try to use to get to discernment and common sense as well,
That's right.
my free will. But yeah, I was still just like everybody else. You know what I mean? That I've declined to do a lot of shows, and I've been getting calls for performances and stuff like that inside venues, and I just, you know, at the end of the day, the money is not worth, my
That's
life
right.
and the health of loved ones around me that look out for, take care of, the things of that nature. So you have to be very strategic. It's been a major financial hit for I'm sure for many artists. My caliber, as well as independent. I'm an independent artist at the end of the day. I've been indie for like 10 years.
Okay.
A lot of venues, in DC have closed their doors. A
And
lot
they
of
love you in DC, but everywhere else too.
big love for the DMV and the District of Columbia as well. But it's crazy to see venues that um, where I broke my career in as an artist. Seeing them close their doors with the fears of the fact that they may never reopen. So it's interesting time, but you still find ways to be creative, innovative, and push through.
So, in this pandemic time, with the resurge, really happening across the U.S. and big time in places like Texas, what are some things that you have done to kind of reinvent yourself?
I've experimented with I experimented early, during the pandemic with online performances, as well as like online content. I created a format, a show called The Garden of Love, which is similar to like my version of the Quiet Storm,
Okay.
where I don't hog all the airplay time and play my music. I play my peers, new artists, new millennial artists, mix it up with the old and the new. As well as doing an event called Woke Wednesdays, where I play conscious music as well. And
I love that concept. Woke Wednesdays.
and during that time, we spoke about voting and just different things that would be going on, and just kind of engaging with the fans. And they loved it. I took a hiatus from it in preparing, for the album that's coming up. But as winter approaches, and the fact that there won't be any, concerts that'll be happening outside, of course, or pull up, weather, if weather does not permit. I'm preparing to relaunch and do some online concert series stuff, in the next few months, and as well as bringing back the Garden of Love and Woke Wednesdays as well. So, um,
Woke Wednesdays. I'm really feeling that Woke Wednesdays. So let me ask you, what does it feel like? Because I have not had the honor of seeing you perform, but I've seen your videos. I mean, I definitely heard about you when you were coming to the DMV. What does it feel like to be behind a camera, in front of a computer, reaching your fans and doing a performance? How do you, I mean, because don't you get
the,
feedback from them?
yeah, the first, I mean, it's been great. Like the concerts that I have, the few that I have done online have been great. The feedback's been great. Um, for me, it's constantly about the upgrade and like taking a step back to take 10 steps forward. I never want to taint the experience, you know, in an attempt to make a dollar, or, at the end of the day, it has to be organic, and it has to be artistic, it has to flow. And I still have to find a unique way to connect with the people in the audience. So, so the early stages of that were like the experimental stages for that for me. Um, Now as I prepare to do some different things, it's going to be interesting to see where it goes from there. It's totally different though. There's nothing greater than that human touch and that um, up close and personal exchange, with the fans, the meet and greets, being able to give a fan a hug. Like,
Yes.
who knows the next time that will be able to happen, um,
Yes.
climate of everything that's going on, not only in the country, but the world. COVID is something that has affected the entire planet simultaneously in real time. So, you know, again, creatively, you try new things. It definitely gives you an opportunity to tap into, your creative side, and to saying, hey, like, everything. It's kind of like no errors can be made. It's just like trial and error. And in some cases, you at the mercy of technology.
Yes. We know about that.
Or whether it's through interviews or attempting to do a live performance, or when you look at like verses and some of the um, technical complications they had in the beginning stages, and that
Yes.
that to like now. So I think everybody's trying to figure it out as it go along.
Definitely. So speaking of verses, since you threw that in there, who would you like to do a verses with?
I'm open for whatever, whoever, whenever.
Really?
It's all good. I mean that humbly, in the
Yes.
you know competition and having fun and being competitive, and for the culture. Like, yeah, I would love to do a versus. I've seen my name thrown in the hat many times.
Yes.
Or
Yes.
names I've seen Music Soul Child, I've seen Maxwell, I've seen
Oh, yeah, that would be good.
Hamilton, I've seen countless people that um, great peers, some who are actually friends of mine, and whatnot. So I mean, I'm open for it. It just needs to make sense time period wise for me. That's all.
So let me ask you, during this pandemic time, are you finding yourself being, you said being creative, but is there a period where you just kind of stop? Because interacting with people, I'm sure, helps to encourage you to come up with the songs, I mean, and come up with things to say in your lyrics.
I'm a, I've been told that I'm a creative machine at times. Like, I don't stop. Like, it doesn't, like, I can't turn my light or my magic off. You know what I mean?
I
So
like that.
it can only get better. And I think that that comes from repetition and practicing, and being a student of the culture, what I do, and finding new ways to tell a story. I feel like there's always something to talk about. When if I feel like I'm experiencing writer's block per se, then I just change the subject. Like, um,
Okay.
and I think that the fact that I've chosen to use my artistry um, to communicate and create from a socially conscious level, as well as a level of intimacy and sex, and or a party record, or a feel good record, or a feature with a rapper, or what have you. Yeah, that's given me a creative balance where I don't feel that pressure to have to to make something um, that that this doesn't sit well with my spirit or my soul. At the end of the day, and to stay creative. I enjoy making music, so I spend a lot of time like in the studio, like archiving albums. I mean, technically, I could probably drop an album every 9 months for the next 10 years. That's how much
What?
I have like recorded in terms of like music that's recorded,
Wow.
and you know, and then I record in real time. So, you know,
Okay.
every few days or so often where time permits. For a long time I didn't feel comfortable having like a studio at home. You know,
Okay.
but I'm in that space, in that mental space where I welcome it, as well as like, there's a few spots that I like that I still like to use that may have shut down temporarily, and now they're quote unquote COVID friendly. So I feel comfortable going in and recording and stuff of that nature. But I enjoy what I do, and I'm a firm believer that there is no last dance until it's over. So if this is what I do, it's my craft is going to be as great to me as I am to it, and as loyal as I am to it. So I enjoy creating. There's a lot of times I'm on the live late at night or working on ideas, and social stuff like that, and I'll tap in and the new album "What a Time to Be in Love," which will be out on October 20th. Here's a copy of it too. By we still
Oh,
physical.
I missed that. I missed that. See, yeah, I want to reach in and get.
Got mail to you. Um,
Wow, I love that. That is beautiful.
for fans and music lovers, they actually a lot of these records they actually had the experience of watching me like create it, like kind of in real time. So they become part of the process, and
That is special.
yeah. So it's and especially during a time like this, with the pandemic and social climate of where we are. Of course, it looks like we're going to have a new president elect. Thing.
Mhm.
And but it's people. We all look for that sense of escapism in some form or fashion. You know what I mean? And for many, for decades now, 2 3 decades now, music has been that for me. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
it's humbling to be able to share that escapism, with the fans via social media and technology and stuff like that. Especially during this time, and I didn't realize how um, beneficial it was for them and how much they appreciate it. To you get the comments, you get the likes, you get the DMs, and people just really like, yo, thank you. You know.
So, you said something that kind of made me think about just, throwing this question out to you. You sound like you're so busy, you're so in tune with things. Listeners, your fans want to connect with you, and you've told me a number of ways that you do Woke Wednesdays, which I love the concept. So, walk us through a day in life with Raheem Devaughn now. What's
Now,
that like?
ironically, let me say this about the pandemic though too. So that's one side of it, right?
Okay.
The other side is that I'm like being able to kind of like learning how to tap out and take the time for yourself, because I realized it took for me to be in this pandemic, and whether that's taking um, financial loss or whatever, right? To still appreciate the good, you know what I mean, and the light in it, and things to be thankful for, and to take some time out for me. So even the hiatus that I've taken from like doing the Garden of Love and um, um, Woke Wednesdays, or doing the First Friday online concerts and stuff of that nature. It's not only to regroup so that when I come back and it can be better, and I can be more consistent. But it also I had to there's other things that are important outside of my career and my music. Being a parent, loving on myself. I'm saying, really tapping into me and realizing, so it's a time for me to sit still and be like, wow, for 20 plus years I've been, you know, making all this great music, but how's that, feeding my soul, or what am I doing to feed my spirit and spiritually enrich myself? You know what I mean? um, because stuff like that, it affects everything around you, your relationship with your parents, your kids, dating, intimacy, whatever. And so as of late, I've been like, I enjoy like meditating and, tapping out and, discovering yoga, discovering the power of affirmation and things of that nature, and it's been great, for me. I think that's something that has been able to give me a balance and a peace that I never known in all
Wow.
years of living. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been great, and that's been
So
how I've been spending the time as of late and balancing it out.
I'm hearing a lot of artists that we have on the show, and when I'm not on the show, talking about it's been a really great time for self reflection and really prioritizing what
Mhm.
they thought was important. I mean, some things obviously will remain that way, but a lot of things perhaps not. Self-care is paramount. Angela Potts. She said, you're right, Angela. A lot of people are saying that. So you mentioned something. I'm going to touch upon this. So
Mhm.
dating, like, listen, if I ever met someone who said, I met Raheem Devaughn, like, how do you find someone? Because you are, when people say your name, the thing that comes to my mind right away is love. Love ballads, intimacy, that all in guy. So how do you find it, especially with the world the way it is and you being who you are?
For me, that's a gift and a curse. You know what I'm saying? It's a balance. Uh, always, one may think I have it all figured out. I don't. I'm still learning. I'm still learning new ways and falling back in love with myself daily on a daily. You know what I mean? Just to be transparent. But when it comes to song, word, and melody, um, production, and my vast catalog of songs, like I now understand that okay, that's my gift. You know, and that's my gift to bring people together and to create timeless moments that people look back on, whether it's the first dance, first kiss, um, saying I do, uh, you know, whether it's for a moment or a lifetime. I'm creating like memories out there, you know, and I'm sure it's a lot of beautiful babies being conceived and born to the music. And when I look at it in that sense of it, then it's like I'm able to like humbly pat myself on the back and say, "Job well done," and knowing that I provide a service in the only way I can provide it, and it's only one, just as there's only one you, it's only one Raheem Devaughn, you know.
Raheem, are you romantic?
Um, that would have to be a question answered by somebody that I've dated or some of that nature. I like to think that I am, though. You know, I like to think that I know what it, know the ingredients of what it takes to, um, be fulfilling and pleasing to my mate. You know what I'm saying? Just outside of a physical realm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I've just really been discovering a lot about myself and even understanding like the purpose of like love languages and like because that's real. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because if you don't know what those, if you haven't taken the time to really figure out certain things about yourself and what your desires are and what you like and what's naturally appealing to you and um, hobbies and things of that nature, like then what good are you gonna be for the next person? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Are
yeah, I
you
like to think that I am.
are you a when we were back in normal times, if you want to say that, were you a take a date out to a movie and dinner, or are you kind of let's watch something at home and have dinner either brought in or made?
I'm naturally a homebody type of person.
Okay.
That's just what I mean, and that's
Yeah.
for everybody. And I go so much, and I'm on the move so much that when I'm able to be still, like I really enjoy being still.
So when you think of people that are compatible with you, if you had to describe a person, not necessarily physical features, but personality traits, are you the kind of person that wants a homebody with you, or she has her own career? I want her to do her, and I'll support her.
Um,
You ever thought about that?
Yeah, I'm definitely want somebody that I'm supportive of. They supportive of me. Um, Similar interests. You know, hustler, ambitious. You know, um, uh, a caregiver to the community. You know, somebody that's possibly humanitarian, stuff of that nature. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
yeah, I think that those are strong qualities to have. You know. Uh,
absolutely.
yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about, I know that your beginnings was in Newark, New Jersey. Can you hear
Are you
me?
asking? Are you
No,
asking?
I'm actually getting text, so I'm trying not to put people's name out.
Do I get to swipe to the left or the right?
I'm just
Did I
I'm
swipe?
trying not to keep looking down. They're asking me text, and this is another great thing because the listeners are able to ask questions. And you know what is interesting? They want to know about you. That's why when I asked you about what's the day in a life,
I'm just trying to figure out if they're swiping to the left or to the right.
okay, okay, I'm gonna let them go ahead and post. I'm gonna let them post. But people want to know what makes you tick. Again,
I,
how your day starts. Do you have a notepad next to your bed? Are you writing
not,
songs? Does it come to you like that?
I don't write anything down. My creative process. I think anybody that knows this to be true now because I just started to kind of reveal and show that. I
Okay.
had like intimate conversations with like homies where they're like, "Hey man, be careful. Don't show them too much." Like it's. I'm not worried about that. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Oh,
I enjoy and it's not necessarily kind of like a show off thing, but it's more so to just show the process and how quickly it can go from 0 to 60. You know,
okay.
I'm in the studio sometimes I may knock out 2 or 3 records in a day if that's where, if that's what the vibe is, but I haven't physically written down records or, the process of it is kind of like, but now I understand it doesn't come from me, it just comes through me, and that's part of being in tune with your gift. It's the same way that um, Michael Jordan or Kobe, LeBron, whomever are able to move the way they move, or ballerinas that are so agile that it's crazy. There's this video clip that a friend of mine just sent to me, and I reposted it on Twitter, where there's an elderly woman who has Alzheimer's, and she was a ballerina, and I guess it was her grandson played um, a musical piece, um, and she instantly while as she sat in her wheelchair, it was taken to a place of where she instantly remembered the movements and stuff of that nature. And it's like for me, I guess music and the process of creating music and song and lyric and melody is so improvisational. It's become so improvisational and but not one dimensional that sometimes I hear it. I'm seeing sounds in real time if that makes sense.
Wow.
So the process is very quick and it's a must that I have um, a great engineer to create and to just keep up, have somebody that can keep up and it's if you were to take 5 different songwriters um, and put them in 5 different studios in the same building with 5 different engineers and lock them in a room for a couple of hours, you'd have 5 different subject matters, 5 different records. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like it's a gift to do what we do and take that. It's about taking that canvas and just making something that I just making my version of the Picasso.
Did you grow up with music in the house in
Yeah,
Newark, New Jersey?
my father is a um who's retired from music, but he was a child prodigy, classically trained cellist. Um,
Wow.
artist name of Abdul Wadu, you know. So he's a very obscure, very well respected, um, well known cellist in that world. It's funny. I just got a text. He has a record that's like online right now. I believe he's going to be reissuing some of his music, but like he has vinyl like this out there, $200 for the vinyl. You know,
Wow.
you know what I mean? So it's so music is definitely part of my DNA. You know, my mother played a lot of music, was a record collector and stuff like that. So growing up, you know, on both sides of the spectrum, like music was very much a part of you know, my life.
When did you realize that you had something special with music?
Um, that's a constant thing in real time. Like, you know, there's different periods in my life when I said, okay, yeah, this is something I want to do. Um, Definitely, you know, graduating from high school in the '90s. You know, watching Motown 25. You know, as a youngin, that was something that was like that always stuck with me. You know, um, being very young at a very young age, probably way younger than I was supposed to be, being fascinated with like Prince and the Purple Rain album, which
Okay.
something like I heard that album one time and I was just like drawn to it. Like even now, like the mystique and um, the energy and that he put into that, you know. Um, I just thought it was ingenious. You know, listening to artists like Bob Marley, you know, Earth, Wind and Fire, um, heavy influences, Sade. Um, you know, there's a lot of different. Of course, Marvin Gaye was a huge influence for me. You know,
Okay.
um, being 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 a Washingtonian, quote unquote. I remember. I'll never forget the day he died. Where I was, who I was with, what the weather was like,
Wow.
how sad the nation. You know, how sad not only the nation and of course you know DC, but the world was. You know, hearing Melvin Lindsay talk about it on A Quiet Storm, like you know, I remember that. Like you know, that hit that did something to me. You know, and yeah, so that these have always these are those have been moments that have kind of like you know at first thought that I feel like have been impactful on my artistry. Um, yeah.
Now, what are your ties to the DMV? Because I know, again, you were born in New Jersey, but everyone here in the DMV claims you. So, what's the ties?
So I was born in Orange, New Jersey. Um, I grew up in the Maryland area. You know, I spent periods of time in Montgomery County, PG County. Um, but DC is where I really um, shed it as a songwriter, as a vocalist, as a performer. But not just DC, Baltimore. You know, I spent
Mhm.
a period of time in Baltimore where I briefly attended Coppin State College. You know,
Okay.
I spent a lot of time in Philly. You know, there was a period where I would hit open mics. You know, an open mic on a Monday night in DC. Um, I'd hit Black Lily in Philly, and then I'd hit Warm Wednesdays in, in Baltimore, and I would do the circuit. I would just work it. Like I would do it faithfully every week for like maybe a year or two or longer. So you see somebody consistently every Monday in DC at a spot, and then every Wednesday in Baltimore and Black Lily. I can't. Maybe Black Lily was maybe on a Tuesday. I feel like at the time, in Philly. You see somebody that every week faithfully, you gonna think they lived there. So it was a period of time when people thought I lived. You know, Baltimore claims me. You know, Philly claims me. I've heard all different types of things. Hey man, I heard you. Are you from Chicago?
That's got to be a good feeling that you're
Yeah,
doing a great job, that they think that
yeah,
you're there.
yeah. It's cool, you know. But you know, for me, the DMV is just like you know, we just have a love affair musically and with my artistry that I'll never leave. You know, God forbid, you know, until it's time to leave. You know, I love it. You know, back in 2011, I was given an official name, you know, in a day in my name, um, a day named after me. You know, it's officially Raheem Devaughn Day forever. You know, May 5th, which is my birthday. Um, Back when Mayor Vincent Gray was in office.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Actually, I remember that now. Yes. That's
I,
pretty special.
I received the key to the city, so that for me was very surreal. you know, to feel the love that you pour back into a place, and to come from an area, although I was not born here, like where it basically birthed me, you know, musically. Um, you know, to be able to work with artists like Chuck Brown,
Yes.
you know, who I idolized, you know, Chucky Thompson, who I used to read the credits to all the Bad Boy stuff, and it's like, yo,
Amazing.
I'm gonna work with him, you know, to go from that to, you know, having my first number one, which is Woman, which Chucky produced. You know what I mean? It kind of just
Yes.
to kind of like, yo, if you see it, you can be it, you can really manifest it. You know what I mean? And so yeah, it's I got that love affair with DC and the DMV, Maryland, Virginia. That'll never it'll never go away. You know, after receiving the key to the city, I, I felt like that was very premature. Not that I'll ever return it, but I felt it was very premature, and that's when I really like really started focusing on doing like more community work and like tapping in, organizing the Love Life Foundation with the help of my very small but wonderful staff. Shout out to M White, Michelle White, and the rest of my crew.
You said it's Love Light.
Well, it's called the Love Life Foundation.
Okay. Can you tell us about that Love Life Foundation?
So we've been in existence, man, you know, for over 6 years now, going on maybe 7 now. And you know, our initial initiatives um, were fighting domestic violence.
Mm.
You know, at the time, Bowie, Maryland had the largest, statistic wise, the Bowie, Maryland, for whatever reason, was like number one domestic.
That's right. That's right.
This was at one point. I don't know what it is now, but the statistics are to date. But they were number one in the country, and that was like in my backyard. Like I remember doing events for the sister who was set on fire, and you
Yes.
know, this prior to me having, you know, one sister that had acid thrown on her, like, you know, for my area. Um, so I would do these events, and I would always get called because you know, the record woman, you know,
Yes.
and what have you. So I just figured like I could do more work, starting my own foundation. I could do more good, and you know, and we did it. We hit the ground running. Um, you know, HIV and AIDS was another focus for us.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually partnered with the AHF, which was a huge supporter, which allowed us to do the annual holiday Christmas concerts, um, feeding the homeless, alongside, you know, individuals like Tony Lewis Jr. from the city who had Operation Nourishment at the time. Um, you know, Spice Sweets, which is, you know, also, you know, Angel over there who's been a beacon of light in terms of like, you know, being of service to the people. Like this is, you know, and they're for real Washingtonians, you know what I mean? So to be able to align myself with them in partnership in the past and do the things we've done, you know, as well as doing, you know, food banks for the quote unquote food deserts that we have, you know,
Yes.
on the south side. Um, I miss going to Turner Elementary. I want to give a big shout out to any of the students that that attended Turner Elementary before the world changed as we know it. Um, all the students, the staff, the teachers, the parents from the different neighborhoods. For the last 2 years, prior to COVID, you know, we adopted Turner Elementary along with Marcus Table and my foundation and a few other organizations on the ground, where we would provide fresh fruits and vegetables for the, you know, for the surrounding neighborhoods. And Turner Elementary would be the hub where you could come, pull up, learn how to get healthy food options for your kids, for your family, you know, lighten and load up for them with fresh produce and stuff of that nature. So I miss, you know, it's one of the things I definitely miss, like, you know, going there and, and you get almost on first name basis with the kids, and,
Wow.
you know, and then I got to rush to the airport, you know, to catch a show that night or whatever, to handle other business. So, but these are a number of things that we've done with the Love Life Foundation over the years. Another thing that we're super proud of is a textbook scholarship fund. Um,
Okay.
we've sent over 10 kids to college, And
Wow, congratulations. That is great.
over the last few years, and we pay for their books and supplies for the first year of college. So it like lightens the load. You know,
Wow.
I students that are now, in the workspace working from home where we helped and created an incentive and a program to help them through college at that time. So it's really about leading them by example. My senior year, high school. I attended a church, People's Community Baptist Church, and
Yes.
and at the time, I needed some help with some books. And a lot of people don't know this story. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to start the Textbook Scholarship Fund. And they at the time I was going to Coppin State, and they gave me $2,000 to be able to pay for books and supplies. So it's about being. It's for me when we connect with these students or youth, is about just letting them understand that, like, look, when you're in position, um, you know, you, you don't owe anybody anything. You owe it to yourself to be of service when you can, how you can, commit random acts of kindness and pay it forward. Um, and so that's kind of like the premise of what we stand for with the Love Life Foundation. Of course, things have slowed down a tad bit because of COVID. But one of the programs that we did have early during the pandemic, we provided uh, hot meals and home cooked meals and all of that, along with almost catering for our essential workers. So that's something that we did, during the pandemic. And we've also been involved in a few food banks as well, over the last few months.
How does someone reach out to Love Life Foundation? I know that, again, things are somewhat curtailed or limited due to the pandemic, but there's obviously still a need. And I know there may be someone who wants to reach out to your organization.
Always, if you want to reach out, do some type of partnership, you want to make a donation, we'll put it to good use. You can simply log on to Love Life Foundation DMV.org. Once again, that's Love Life Foundation DMV.org. Hit the donate button, donate. There's also email information where you can contact somebody from my staff about future partnerships and stuff of that nature. And yeah, we looking to continue to do the work and find creative ways to just stay tapped in with the community. Most recently, we'll be doing a cooking like workshop, a virtual cooking kind of workshop thing. We're working it out. We were looking to hopefully launch it, uh, it's within the next 2 weeks, but
Really?
we may hold up and just wait till the new year. Um,
Okay.
that's definitely coming soon.
On
And
what
again,
format will you do that on?
it'll be virtual, so the information will be, the links and stuff like that will be dispersed through social media, my Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and what have you.
So you mentioned before that you were on an independent label. What has it taught you to be on it? And what have you learned from being on an independent label? I'm sure things have to be a little bit different, right?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times you end up handling the heavy lifting.
Okay.
A lot more work involved. It's not as glamorous as it sounds. Um, but it's ownership. It's yours, and if you build it, people will come. And my main focus has been just being consistent. Consistency is key for me.
Consistency. So let me read this. So I know this is just some of them. Let's see. The Love Experience, Love Behind the Melody, A Place Called Love, Love, Sex, and Passion, and your new piece, What a Time to Be in Love. Tell us about this because apparently, like I said before, the word love and Raheem Devaughn go hand in hand.
You went through those fast. Let me see.
And
Love
that's,
Experience, um, Love Behind the Melody,
yes,
Love and War Masterpiece, A Place Called Loveland, Love, Sex, Passion, um, Decade of a Love King,
that's right. I didn't go
and
through all of them. You're right.
the Love Reunion, and now album number 8. I approach my song. I'm a big hip hop fan, so
Okay.
I my song titles for the albums, I approach it how Tribe Called Quest would do a song cover.
I love them.
And so like, you know, how Midnight Marauder, or the kind of like the theme of the lady that was always on the cover. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yes.
kind of like, they were kind of like the influence behind like, okay, every time I'm gonna put out an album, I'm gonna make sure that it has the title Love in it. I'm gonna be breaking the monotony soon though. They're gonna be
Okay.
one-off projects and different things that are gonna be happening. But I think I'll keep that theme going as long as I can.
So now where can we and your fans support you with What a Time to Be in Love? Where can they find it? How can they show you their support?
Okay, so let me break it down. First of all, I want to give a big shout out to the colleagues who, I guess you could say, executive produced this album with me. You know, it's the first time I've worked with a set of producers where I allowed them to, where I allowed myself to be the clay for like one group of individuals, and there are other people that are involved in the project as well. Um, but I wanted to give a big shout out to the colleagues, my man KP, for understanding my vision and for us to be able to just humble ourselves both to bring to create a body of work that's on the way, because this right here is epic. um Man, you can get the album on all digital platforms right now, meaning that you can pre-order the album. The pre-order has been up since October 3rd, 30,
Okay.
excuse me. Um, when we put the pre-order up, a new song became available, Mr. Midnight, which is the current single. Um, Prior to that, Marvin Used to Say, which was the first single. I want to give a big shout out to Desperados and Loverboy Vo and Mike Blaze as well for their involvement in that record. Um, Mr. Midnight, 812 Labs for that. I want to give myself a pat on the back for that. I'm involved in the production for that as well. Um, and Man, it's a great body of work. So whether it's Tidal, whether you go on Apple Music, Spotify is a great place to go to pre-order the album. When you go and pre-order and save the album to your phone, you can your digital device. You can enjoy two songs for now. Again, the first single, Marvin Used to Say, and Mr. Midnight, which is the second single. And on Friday, a third song will be unlocking. It's called Twilight, again, which is produced by the colleagues. And all this leads up to November 20th, midnight, when the album goes live. And
Okay.
we also have a online store where you can order physical copies as well. And if you follow me on Instagram and click on the Instagram bio link or the Twitter bio link or Facebook bio link, the link is already waiting for you there, where you can pre-order the album, either a digital copy or a physical copy.
So Raheem Devaughn, Spotify has been a really good way of making sure that you collect and you're able to continue doing what you're doing.
Absolutely, absolutely. All the platforms have been great. More importantly, just landing on the right playlist. You
Mm-hmm.
know, music lovers out there, put me on your playlist. You know, feel free to file share. Copy the link and file share. Mr. Midnight, which is blowing up right now, popping off real lovely. We got the video coming soon, and we'll be going for ads at radio at some point as well. So it's a digital world now, though. It's so definitely stream. If you want to support me as an artist, stream the music. Not just this album, but all the albums. But this one will be available November 20th.
So, something just came to my mind. I just completely lost it that quick, but I keep seeing these pop-ups of your fans. What is LQN?
Oh, that's Love Queen Nation. Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
A big shout out to Love Queen Nation out there. Everybody who has and everybody that's been supporting the music. I have a very obscure. I don't know if cult following is the right word.
It is.
I appreciate it all the same. To be able to say that album number 8 is coming is not an easy thing to do. I make it look easy, but it's a lot of sleepless nights. It's a lot of investing in yourself and the whole nine that comes with it, to be independent. But I wouldn't have it any other way. So definitely the support that I get out there, I don't take it lightly. Big shout out to Love Queen Nation, Love King Nation, and everybody that's been supporting the Raheem Devaughn wave for, you know, multiple decades.
I'm gonna put you on the hot spot. So you said that you're a hip hop lover, right?
Uh-huh.
So if we were sitting, we wanted to see your playlist. Tell me 5 people that you listen to.
5 people that I listen to,
Yeah.
man, it probably be more than 5.
Okay. You can give it to us. That's fine. That's great.
Yeah.
I want to know.
I mean, just off the break, oh, man, Kendrick Lamar,
Okay.
um, Tribe Called Quest.
Yes.
That new Busta Rhymes album is crazy.
You know what? I've only heard. Okay, I've only heard one song, and it was ridiculous. It's been so long that I didn't think that that was actually him. When I heard, I said, "There's no way."
I had that opportunity to sit with Busta while this album was in conception. You know what I mean? So some of the videos I saw before they came out, like, you know, um, I can't remember how I ended up there, but somehow or another, I ended up at going to kick it with him, one of his sessions, and he played music for me, and we kicked it, and you know, he told me about his vision, what he was trying to do at the time. We had even talked about working at one point, and so you know, needless to say, I'm happy for him. It's a beautiful thing to see people execute something and have this vision of what they wanted to be, and then for it to come all the way to fruition. You know what I mean? Nas is in there.
Oh
His
my goodness!
works
Yes, you have to have that.
definitely the Roots. You know, who are
Okay. Okay.
Um, I'd do a whole album with them if I could. You know what I mean? I'm still open to that idea. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Man, you got, you know, and then of course, like all the dope artists from the area, man. Wale, you know, Phil Day, Chaz French, Logic,
Okay.
you know, um, I'm proud of all of them, and so many more. I mean, everybody that's from the trap rappers to the backpack rappers or whatever, you know, however way you want to word it. There's a lot of beautiful talent. There's a lot of talent, you know, here in the DMV. When I say the DMV, I include Virginia, I include Baltimore. It's a plethora of talent up there in Baltimore as well. So, um, you know, I'm team quote unquote local, but we go global. So
Okay, I like that. So we need to hear something with you doing some go-go too. But what about any current artists?
Go Go Band. That's the Go Go album's coming.
Oh,
Yeah, shout out to Raheem Devaughn, me, and the Crank
yeah,
and the Crank Crusaders.
and
That's
the Crank
yeah, the Crank.
Crusaders. Okay, you heard it here
Yeah,
first, right?
that's coming. I mean, like, you know, you can only do one thing at a time.
Right.
You know, I'm learning. I'm a work in progress of understanding that you can only execute one thing at a time, and to you know, take your time because you're on God's time. Time is the most valuable thing we have. You know what I mean? So just using it, and also the art of hustling properly. You know, not working too hard, working smarter. Now,
Yes. So with today's artists that we have, R&B, ballads, anyone that comes to mind that you would love to work with, new artists?
yeah, I like to work with um, I like to work with Ari Lennox.
Okay.
Um, I'd like to work with Sego.
Really?
Yeah, I'd like to work with, and I think those things are happening in due time.
Okay.
Um, my man Sir that's on TDE, who I you know, I met a lot of these guys like in the infant stages of their career before the world knew their name, through a guy by the name of DJ Jazzy Jeff, you know, who's
Yes.
been a great mentor to all of us. So, but my top three right now, I would
Yes.
probably like top three right now, it would be Ari Lennox, Sir, Masego, um, and it's and then there's so many dope new artists that are out. Let me say this, like so many. Discover somebody new every day, you know. So it's just it's I think that's a unique thing about and how beneficial platforms like SoundCloud and Spotify and stuff of that nature can be, because there's so many. It's so, you know, if you're a music lover, during this time too, the pandemic, that's been a great thing too, to be able to like just get hip to new music and different artists and stuff like that, you know. And if there's anybody out there that's like, I'm not. This is not a please listen to my demo statement.
Okay. Put that disclaimer out.
But if it's anybody, you know, if it's some great music that y'all want to put me on to, great music, I'm always looking for it. So I'm looking to hear it. So, you know, DM me some dope music. What are y'all listening to out there? You see this interview, what are you listening to? Hit me on Twitter and be like, yo, check this out. You don't necessarily have to be the artist that made it or whatever too, but and that works too, you know. If it's hot, it's hot. I'm a tough critic though. Yeah. And as I expect the people to be when they listen to my art as well.
Now my phone has been chiming, and I've tried to keep it quiet, but I think it's connected to my computer. You have a lot of people who wanted to hear you sing something. I know you don't have the vocals, or I mean, you know, you don't have the music and stuff. They're like, is he going to sing anything? And is he going to do anything? I know.
When you get out the shower in the midnight hour, yeah, after 12 when you're by yourself, when you're in need of sexual help, I'll be there pronto. Just leave the door unlocked. Pour that wine and light that J. Tonight I need a healing like Marvin Gaye. Halfway out my drawers while you climb the walls. When you need a sound off, baby, hardcore and applaud, lady. Let me be your Mr. Midnight in the midnight hour. Just call me up and I'll satisfy. That's all I got. Right.
Okay, now that's what you call an artist. I have never had an artist where I literally said it, and before I finished saying it, you started singing. And you can see all your fans are popping up on the ready, on the ready. No studio.
If you want something conscious, you know, just to restore the balance. I seen babies gunned down and drive-bys. Well, I never seen another mama cry. Black on black crime. It seems like ever since the birth of a nation, we've been treated lesser than and denied reparations. It makes me want to flip. They tamper with my vote, I call it politics. Disrespect my life with a stop and frisk. And killed a black man at 846. A sign of the times, the mark of the beast. Till there's justice, there'll be no peace. Oh Lord, Most High, help me. Oh Lord, 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 Lord. There's lead in the water and polluted clouds, Lord. Oh Lord, recession and depression, unemployment's on the rise. But I feel your presence, so I'm staying faithful, yeah. I wipe the ashes off the scriptures of my exodus, yeah. It makes me want to scream, cause nobody knows the trouble that I seen. I'm not your nigga, I was born a king. I'm energy and I vibrate higher. It makes me want to flip. They tamper with the vote, I call it politics. Disrespect our lives with a stop and frisk. It killed a black man at 846. A sign of the times, a mark of the beast. Till there's justice, there'll be no peace. Oh Lord, Most High, help me. That's on a new album too.
Oh my gosh,
That
is sick. You are so gifted. I mean, and it just comes out of you like work. Like it is words, obviously, but like you breathe. That is amazing.
I mean, you know, we gotta be.
That's amazing.
When you become one with the things you love, and like I said, it's beyond repetitious. It becomes part of you, and you're a part of it. So, yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you for your kind words. I appreciate Love Queen Nation out there. I appreciate everybody that's tapping in, and anybody that's seeing this interview before you hear this album. I appreciate you for supporting this music. What a time to be in love. album number 8. Again, big shout out to my man KP, the colleagues, and everybody involved. And I promise you, there's so much more music on the way to come. It's a lot in store.
Now, listen, before we wrap things up, Raheem, Devaughn, we talked about obviously your new album out. You said Spotify, stream it, stream it, stream it. It's entitled What a Time to Be in Love. What else do we have to look out coming from you? Is it movies, anything else, projects that you're working on you can tell us about?
I've been doing a few films. There's a movie coming out at some point. It's called Available Wife, which I have I play an actor in that. I have a role in that film as well as a song, as part of the soundtrack, which is also in the movie. There's a film that's out right now that's available on Netflix called Love.com, ironically, that I'm part of as well. You can check that out. Have music as well. There's a go-go. You like go-go, so there's a go-go version of
I do.
Guess Who Loves You More that opens up the film. Big shout out to the Crane Crusaders again on that. And definitely looking to do some more acting and whatnot. There's a few projects that I have, in the chamber that I'm waiting to release. From Lust Till Dawn, which features 4 unreleased records by me, and then some very dope artists who I've been working with. B-Boy Soul out of Virginia, Granique, Brenda Lynn McKinney, Bravo, and a few other individuals as well as, like I said, just future projects that I'm putting out, and looking to just kind of flood with great music.
You seem to be a perfectionist. So is the transition, or has the transition from being a artist and a songwriter to acting, was it fluid?
Yeah, it was not. I think acting is a natural fluid thing for me.
Okay.
I do want to like share and take some classes and and have a couple of roles that are challenging. For me, anything that I want to be taken well received by and respected. You know what I'm saying? In that craft. So definitely. But I think I did the Love Jones musical a few years back.
Okay.
We were on the road for about 6 months nonstop. And that was a great time for me, and that's where I really got the acting itch, So I welcome, if there's roles out there that opportunities present themselves, and I welcome it,
So very exciting. Raheem Devaughn, again, his song, What a Time to Be in Love. He said, stream, stream, stream. We're going to follow you. We're going to support you. I just have to thank you for joining us tonight. I know that you are going to be flying out from where you are now and doing more work. So, you've got your fans behind you. They're sending you love at the bottom of the screen. And we thank everyone for tuning in. And again, you making time. We were really, really glad to catch up with you and hear what you're doing and what you're all about. I also want to thank James Chaney from Concert Connects for having you here today and making this happen. And listen, I'm gonna let you close out, and if you want to say anything special to all your fans that love and support you.
Hey, once again, just a gentle reminder, pre-order your physical copy of What a Time to Be in Love now. You can do so by clicking on the Instagram bio link on my profile page, Twitter, Facebook as well. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram at Raheem_Devaughn. Once again, that's Raheem_Devaughn. Check me out on Facebook. Check me out on YouTube as well. YouTube.com/Raheem Devaughn. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Got some content coming soon for y'all there. And thank you again. I humbly thank y'all for supporting me for so many years. I can't wait for y'all to hear this album. I said hit the album, but can't wait for you guys to hear the album. The sensual side as well as the conscious side. Support is love and love is support. Spread the word of my movement like you always do. It's a word of mouth. It's a word of mouth movement. I'm an independent artist. At the end of the day, I've been independent. It'll be 10 years that I've been independent. January 1st, 2021.
Congratulations.
I make it look easy, but it's not an easy thing to do. So the biggest form of flattery that you can do is to support the music. Stream it on Spotify, Stream it on all digital platforms, you know, Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora. Oh yeah, follow my Pandora station too.
Okay.
Yeah, because we popping over there right now.
All right. I had to check that out.
We popping over.
Raheem, Devaughn, you are awesome and truly blessed. And I cannot thank you enough for taking time to share, intimate things about yourself and about the business and your craft. And we look forward to following you and continuing it to support you.
Already. Thank y'all so much.
All right. Well, this will do it for today's edition of Fire. Yes, with Raheem Devaughn right here on NNPA and Black Press USA. Until next week, God bless and goodbye.